Morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty good myself because, Griffin has finally released his, quote-unquote apology video for what he said on stream. And to his credit, he does apologize for some stuff, and this video isn't all bad. I'd say it's probably around mid, in my opinion. Not good, not great, not too bad, but not terrible either. It's basically, in my opinion, it's a mixture between bad and mid. Because, he responded to Mischief's video on him, and honestly, I don't think Mischief's video was great, in all honesty. He does contradict himself quite a bit in the video, and Griffin points that out, and that's where Griffin, has his shining moments, and that's what saves the video from being, truly bad. But Griffin did say a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, and, I just felt like I wanted to address, so I think this will probably be my final video covering this whole drama. I honestly thought this was going to go on for a lot longer than it did, but luckily this intro won't go on for much longer, so yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Actually, before we do get into it, I want to throw this out here real quick. I mean, you guys probably know Griffin's video is 50 minutes long, and a lot of it is, where he does have good things to say, or he has legit points, and a lot of it is also just him playing Mischief's video. So for the sake of time and for the sake of not having this be a 2-hour video or something, I'm gonna be cutting it up. I'll put all the necessary context in the clips, but yeah, we're not gonna be watching the whole video through, so that's why there's random jump cuts in between when I give my commentary.
And that's the scary thing is too, we're not even talking about a lot of money. It's literally fucking 1,500 bucks, man. That is not a life-changing sum for any human being on this planet. Now, admittedly, if I would have gone back and chosen my words differently, I should have said somebody who's in the market for a brand new top-of-the-line GPU. 1,500 bucks is not a life-changing sum of money, but in reality, for most people who would even consider buying a 4090, 1,500 bucks is not going to make or break anyone. The common kind of argument I've seen with this is 1,500 bucks could pay my rent for the month. Well, that's not going to change your life. It's going to pay your rent for the month. So that was kind of the point I'm getting at. Again, I could have chosen my words a lot better, so I'll hold the L on that one. I could definitely understand if you just heard that clip, you would think I'm a pretentious douche.
Now, Griffin, I think it is nice that you're saying if you could go back, you would change what you said, but what you're going to change it to is, or what you would change it to if you could go back, is completely different from what you said right there. In the original clip, you said that 1,500 bucks is not life-changing for anybody on this planet. That is very, very different from just the people who would consider buying a 4090. And also, I'm going to bring this point up later for one of the future clips, but I'm just going to throw it out there right now. More people would consider buying a 4090 if it was more affordable. But then it kind of nosedives from there when he says, oh, well, the common argument I've seen is, oh, it could pay my rent, and then he says that's not going to change your life. Now, I'm no professional when it comes to being homeless. I've never been homeless in my life. But something tells me there's a pretty big difference between having a place to stay that belongs to you and, having to live out on the streets or live in a homeless shelter. And if 1,500 bucks could keep you in an apartment or something, that sounds pretty life-changing. So I guess the way to put it is this: the 1,500 bucks by itself is not going to change your life, but if you put that 1,500 bucks towards having shelter over your head, then it is going to change your life, which still disproves your original point.
Usually his takes aren't exactly anything ludicrous, but as of recently they do seem to be getting worse and worse no matter what topic he's discussing.
Could we get an actual example of one of those takes? Because I would actually be interested in knowing. But
now, I haven't actually seen the clip of this, but I've heard a lot of people talking about how you were saying that the women at Activision need to toughen up or something like that. Also, do I need to bring up the whole Actman Vanguard review and your response to that where you had a complete mental breakdown? Griffin, I have met people in real life, and if I ever mention you at some point, if we're having a conversation about gaming or something, they always say, oh yeah, the thing I always hear about that guy is either his bad takes or it's always bad news surrounding him. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that this literally happened on Friday.
God, isn't it just amazing how when Griffin calls out his friend's bad takes, it's perfectly reasonable and not clout chasing at all.
When did I say it's clout chasing, my guy? And dude, that video was from 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure Review Tech USA had never even heard of me at that point, and also...
Sorry for that abrupt cutoff. There was no real way to stop that clip without cutting him off because he goes on for a while there. But anyway, Griffin, you're asking, oh, when did I ever say you were clout chasing? Well, direct your attention to the screen screenshot right here. Now, later on in the video, he tries to say, oh, I never said he was clout chasing. I said he was looking for more views. My dude, that's literally what clout chasing is. Clout chasing is trying to get more attention on the internet, and views are a way of doing that. Just because you did not say the exact words clout chasing does not mean that's not what you said.
And although his takes in videos are usually good, his takes on streams are often pretty bad. If he isn't shitting for Activision during them, you know something's wrong. But
I could barely understand what was being said there, but I'm thinking he said shilling for Activision, which, you know, if me not caring about loot box bad and like Diablo Immortal, a literal free-to-play game on a cell phone, is me shilling for Activision, then whatever, man, I don't really care. If that's the only example of a quote-unquote bad take I've had on stream that you're gonna reference, then yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot better.
Well, besides those examples, there's also, remember saying that Vanguard was the best Call of Duty in years, when you defended the sexual harassment allegations, and when you watched COD Next, saw a bunch of gameplay from paid streamers in a controlled environment, and then immediately put up a community post saying you already know that is going to be Game of the Year for you. And the fact that you pre-ordered the $100 edition of Modern Warfare 2 without even seeing the gameplay first.
I don't know how to break the news to you, Griffin, but if I were to clout chase, it shows I wouldn't be from a channel with standing growth for over a year, and one who I share a significant portion of my audience with.
Actually, that's exactly who you should piggyback off of, is people you share an audience with. But anyway, I never said you were clout chasing, my dude. I said you were starting a drama because the views from the previous drama were wearing off. I'm not saying I'm this clout god of YouTube. You're the one implying that shit.
Does this guy not realize that starting a drama to farm views from it is clout chasing? Like, that is a great example of what clout chasing is. Calling out somebody bigger to get attention directed towards yourself, or if you don't want to say attention, you could say clout. And guess what? He would be chasing after it if that was the case. Therefore, it is clout chasing. Imagine being so unaware as to what you're saying that you say, oh yeah, no, I'm not saying he's clout chasing, I'm saying he's trying to get views by starting a drama. Then again, this is also the guy who said that $1,500 isn't a lot of money, so I shouldn't be surprised.
So how the fuck do you not know who Jensen is, and how the fuck do you not know what DLSS is? You are spending over $1,600 on a single component of your computer, and somehow your dumbass doesn't even know about its single biggest selling point.
Bro, why are you so upset that I don't know about the technical specifications or the NVIDIA CEO's name? Like, I don't care, dude. I literally, like, let me break this down, okay? Like, in every PC video I've ever made, I've always said this. Like, the way I built my computer is I literally just bought the most expensive component in every single category on NZXT. That's how I built my computer, bro. I know nothing about these parts, nor do I care about these parts. I just want the most powerful GPU on the market. That's it, bro. The 4090 is the most powerful GPU on the market. That's what I want to have in my computer. All that extra shit, I don't really care about. That is not my specialty, and I will never pretend to have an understanding of technology that I know nothing about. And on top of that, why are you pressed that I'm spending $1,600, and why are you calling me a dumbass for spending my money how I want to, bro? Like, again, like I said, guys, this is definitely one of those cases where I think this shit really struck home.
Griffin, you are literally admitting that you are one of the fanboys you love to make fun of. You're just consuming that product and then getting ready for next product. You just admitted that you don't care what it is. As long as it's expensive, you'll buy it. That is the definition of a shill or a fanboy. You don't care about the card at all, aside from the fact that it's super expensive. I swear to God, dude, you'd be one of those people in like an art exhibit where they see a painting where it looks like somebody just threw a bucket of paint at the canvas and then just walked away and let it dry, and you would try to drop like $30 million on that thing.
How fucking goddamn delusional do you have to be to unironically think that $1,000 US, let alone $1.5 grand, is not a life-changing sum of cash?
Again, like I said at the beginning, I will hold the L on this one. I should have said this way better. I meant to say the people considering buying the highest end GPU, that the $1,500 price tag is not going to be a life-changing sum of money. Because if you're in a situation where you could even consider spending that much money on a GPU, $1,500 ain't going gonna break you, and that's the point I was trying to make, and I just said it really shitty.
I think to say that you said it a little crappy is a bit of an understatement. That was honestly one of the most egotistical, out-of-touch rich boy things I have ever heard in my life. You could make the argument that that's what you meant to say if, say, you said, oh, yeah, that's not really a life-changing sum of money for me, or just say that's not really a life-changing sum of money. But you went out of your way to specify for anyone on this planet, and that's where the problem comes in. You specifically went out of your way to say that nobody on this planet would have their lives changed from $1,500. And like I just said, if you had left that part out, you probably could have salvaged the situation a little bit better. Now, Griff, I'm not in your position. I've never been in your position before, but honestly, if you want my advice, it would be to just take a break from live streaming for a little bit. Or maybe focus less on the game you're playing and more about, you know, the meaningful interactions and conversations you're having with your audience. Because if you were doing that in this situation, this whole thing would not have happened.
Not only that, but the whole premium product stance is one that's a self-defeating argument. Especially when you've previously and rightfully called out Sony for increasing the PS5's price by £50 in the UK/Europe.
But see, that's a very different situation, because both the 30 series GPUs and the PlayStation 5 came out in 2020. So in that 2-year time frame, the 30 series cards have gone down in their retail price, while PlayStation has gone up, which is the complete opposite of the typical trend we see with technology products. That's why it's okay to call Sony out. If Sony released a PlayStation 5 Pro, for example, for $600, nobody would care. It's a new piece of technology. They're establishing a new MSRP. They're not raising the price of technology that's already been on the market for years. They're releasing something brand new at an initial price, which you can expect to go down over time. That's how this shit works. So comparing the PlayStation 5, a console that's been on the market for 2 years, to GPUs that haven't even released yet is absolutely idiotic.
No, Griffin, what's completely idiotic is the fact that you completely ignored that you have dunked on the PS3 time and time again every time you bring up that, you know, it cost $600 when it launched. That was a new piece of hardware, and Sony increased the price, so by your own logic, people shouldn't care about that. But you, in the past, have dunked on the PS3 for the price increase, and you've used it in examples before. Now, do I remember the exact video? No, I'm not about to search through all, like, 200 of your commentary videos to find it. But I know it exists, and I know anybody who's watched you for at least a little while would know that that exists as well. And even if it doesn't, the only way you could defend yourself in this argument is to say that the PS3 being $600 was justified, which I'm not exactly sure. That would be completely unlikely at this point.
What point do we turn around and say maybe that's too much money? After all, why can't Sony increase the price of the PS5? It's a premium product at the end of the day.
No one's saying they can't increase the price. They're saying that it's not a good look when your product's already been on the market for 2 years. Instead of dropping the price, you're raising it.
Yeah, and guess what? Nobody's saying Nvidia can't increase the price either. It's their product. They can charge whatever they want for it. But it's not a good look for them, especially when you take the two 4080 cards into consideration. Also, going back to the PS3 example again, it wasn't a good look for Sony when they did that, and you called them out for that, but now you're saying it's okay for Nvidia to do the same thing? Kinda hypocritical.
Yeah, like, the thing is like less than probably 5% of the entire PC market would even consider buying a 4090. But yet everyone's outraged over the price of something they're never gonna fucking buy. I don't get it. I mean, is that not like a factual statement, dude? Is it not weird? Like, let's put this into perspective since we're talking about cars, man. Like, this would be like me getting upset over Lamborghini raising the price of the Lamborghini Urus and going after random people who want to go buy the new model of the Lamborghini Urus and saying, oh my god, you wasted your money, you're ruining the car industry, how fucking could you? Like, I know damn well I don't have enough money to buy that car, so why would one Lamborghini ever listen to my input on the matter? And why would some motherfucker who's making way more money than me give a fuck about my opinion on a car I can't even afford? Like, it's literally the equivalent of yelling at a brick wall just to be angry, and that's what I just don't understand in all of this.
Now, initially, I actually thought the car analogy was good, and I was having a hard time coming up with a counter to it until I watched Oh No It's Alex's stream. Shout out to you, man, by the way. But he had a great way of countering this analogy, and again, I think it's actually a pretty solid one, but it can be countered, and basically the reasoning is this. Lamborghini's decision to increase prices of their cars does not affect the overall car market because there are quite literally dozens and dozens of car manufacturers. Therefore, if the premium car company increases their price even more, that's not going to change anything for the lower down car companies. However, when it comes to GPUs, there are only two competitors, AMD and Nvidia. So if Nvidia raises the prices unjustly just to, milk more money off of the cards, and people like you go out and buy them, you are encouraging them to do that, then AMD will see that it succeeded for Nvidia, and then they will start to raise their prices as well. If there was more competition, it wouldn't be as big of an issue, but first of all, Nvidia dominates the graphics card industry, and second of all, they're one of only two competitors in it. What they do will have a massive effect on the market going forward, especially if it succeeds, and that is part of the reason why so many people are upset at you for, as you say, spending your own money how you want to, because it negatively affects them.
And no, Griffin, the 40 lineup of GPUs isn't intended for 1% of gamers in the first place.
Oh shit, you're right, man. It's actually less than that. Only about 0.5% of Steam users even have a 3090 at all, so yeah, I guess my point's even more valid than before. So I think it's pretty safe to say at this point that most people statistically talking about this whole thing were not going to buy one anyway.
Yeah, and guess why the people aren't going to buy them? It's because they're so overpriced. If the cards were priced actually reasonably, way more people would be buying them. You love to use cars as examples so much, so let's use one right here. If a Lamborghini was as cheap as a Honda Civic, no duh, more people would buy it because it would be cheaper and therefore more accessible, so more people could buy it. I don't understand why this is such a hard concept to grasp. If something is more affordable, then more people will buy it.
However, I will say that Nvidia is slowly but surely pricing out the general consumer along with their primary market for the 90 cards.
How are they pricing out people from this 90 series of cards, bro? Literally, if you didn't have a problem spending $1,500 plus on a 3090, most likely you spend a lot more than that. Like myself, you're not going to mind spending $1,600 for the next generation of that card if you actually have a use or want for it. This is a $100 increase. It's less than a 10% upcharge.
Dude, this argument can be so easily countered, it's not even funny. Griffin, why do you have a problem paying $70 for games? Unless it's Call of Duty, of course. But anyway, yeah, why do you have a problem paying $70 for games? They're brand new games, and a company can charge whatever they want for them. If you had no problem paying $60 for a game, surely you wouldn't have a problem paying $70 for one. But apparently you do, because back when you responded to MBG regarding the whole Horizon Forbidden West not getting a free upgrade thing, you said that you were not okay with $70 games. So again, just more hypocrisy. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Like I said, the video we looked at today was mid to bad in my opinion. I know some people thought it was actually a good response, and some parts were legitimately good. And I highly recommend you go watch Griffin's entire video so you can form your own opinion because, obviously I cut out a lot of stuff because I don't want this video to be 2 hours long. But yeah, I really don't think this video was great in all honesty because I felt like he did a bit too much defending and not enough apologizing / admitting he was wrong. He'll say, oh yeah, I'm taking the L for this, and then immediately blame the fact that he was playing Call of Duty on why it happened. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.